Hey guys, it's Marley from Kale and Krunches. Welcome back to my channel. And I am here with the stunning Heather Mandel, who is a Toronto-based fitness expert. She is a soon-to-be mom of 4. In my opinion, the best bar teacher in Toronto and a pre- and postnatal fitness expert. All right, so many of you guys have asked me a million questions about working out during pregnancy. Can I work out? When should I modify? Am I able to do ab exercises? And to be honest, I'm not the expert, so I wanted to bring the expert in. So Heather today is gonna answer all of your questions and my questions, and she's just gonna talk us and walk us through all of the ins and outs of working out during pregnancy. One of the questions I get asked all the time is all about ab separation. So Heather, firstly, what is ab separation?
So basically, ab separation or diastasis recti is the separation of the linea alba in the rectus abdominis area all the way down to your pelvic floor. There is no way to prevent diastasis recti. In pregnancy, there is always going to be some sort of separation to accommodate for the growing baby and the mom's changing uterus. But there are ways to help the linea alba close back up together after the baby is born and to prevent too much of a separation.
If I just found out I was pregnant, let's say I'm 5 or 6 weeks, when do I really need to start worrying about my abs during working out?
Well, it really depends on what kind of exercises you were doing prior to pregnancy. So you never want to begin a new exercise program once you find out you're pregnant. But if you have been fairly active and doing all kinds of abdominal exercises, it's okay to continue them through the first trimester. Around the second trimester is when I would really start to modify.
So I'm okay to plank, I'm okay to crunch, all of that if I was doing it before during first trimester?
Yeah, as long as you're mindful of your form, which is the most important thing.
Right, yeah. Perfect. And everyone's always talking about engaging pelvic floor and squeezing pelvic floor. So for those of us who are new to exercise, what is the pelvic floor?
So the pelvic floor is part of your whole abdominal area, your girdle or your core area. So when I say the word core, I always like to tell people that I'm not just referring to the abs or those six-pack muscles that everybody wants to have. The core is pretty much, in my opinion, everything except for your limbs. The pelvic floor is so important because it holds the body in place. So a lot of the time, the weakness in the pelvic floor during pregnancy happens because of the weight of the growing baby, and it changes our posture. So we start to then have what's called a little bit more of an anterior pelvic tilt. And when that happens, the pelvic floor is not properly engaged, and that's what can cause weakness.
Okay, so we talked about pelvic floor, we've talked about ab separation. I want to know really what is the right posture that we should be doing during all of our exercises so that we don't make ab separation worse.
Okay, posture is by far the most important thing. So when I refer to posture, I'm talking about alignment. Alignment during not just working out, but when you're walking, when you're standing, when you're sitting, when you're driving in your car, everything. It's most of what you're doing in your functional life that can cause the weakness and the separation to become worse.
Right, so I'm really not only worrying during exercising, but anything I'm doing,
Absolutely.
I need to be thinking about it. Okay,
Absolutely.
Good to know.
So what can happen when the body starts to change and accommodate for the growing baby as the uterus gets bigger and the baby grows is oftentimes it starts to pull our lumbar spine, which is here, into a little bit of an anterior pelvic tilt. So usually the bones of the pelvis should be in a nice straight line here, stacked underneath the ribs. A lot of the time during pregnancy, the weight of the body starts to pull the pelvis forward. Okay, so this position causes an excessive curve in the lumbar spine, the lower back, and this is a very, very difficult place for the abdominals to be properly engaged. Okay, so what we want to do is be mindful of keeping our pelvis in what's called neutral alignment. Okay, neutral alignment is the best position where the body can move the most functionally and also where we can properly engage our abdominals.
When I'm engaging my abs when I'm pregnant, what is that supposed to feel like? Because it kind of already feels different for me and I'm only 15 weeks.
Okay. Engaging abs doesn't necessarily mean like super contracting your abs, right? We want generally sort of a soft engagement and awareness of the abdominal area without making it so intense that it kind of changes our breathing or makes us not be able to focus on anything else.
Okay.
So it's a subtle engagement what you're looking for. A lot of it comes through breath. I'm going to show you a little bit now. What we want to do is make sure that we are inhaling deep breaths and expanding our whole rib cage, breathing into our diaphragm. So as we inhale, we expand everything. Imagine the rib cage expanding out to the side as well. And then it's the exhale where we think of pulling the abdominals not only in, but also up. So if you think about drawing upwards here, and then at the same time, you're gonna do that little bit of a Kegel. So tightening those muscles that you use to control your bladder and other things.
Right.
At the same time, you're drawing upwards as well. So if you're properly engaging those really, really important stabilizer muscles, you might see your belly button rise maybe half an inch or a little bit less.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, that's how you can know if you're properly doing it.
Okay, so let's say that I've just been working out throughout first and second trimester, and I haven't really seen many changes in my belly yet. Is there anything I should look for to tell me to slow down? Maybe that I just can't feel it. Is there anything I should really look for that will show me that my abs are starting to separate?
Yeah, so what you want to be mindful of is something that I call coning or doming. And it actually looks like what it sounds like, sort of when the middle of your stomach kind of domes up, makes a little cone shape here. That's a sign that those muscles are actually starting to come out of where they should be, and that you really, really need to pull back. And it doesn't necessarily happen during the second trimester. If you have not been mindful of your form and your technique, and you've maybe been doing ab exercises that aren't good for you, or you haven't been properly aligning your posture, that doming can happen right away. And I want people to remember that more is not better. So it's always, always, always better to pull back, make sure you're doing exercises correctly, modify whenever necessary to make sure that you can try and prevent that doming.
Heather, you are amazing and so knowledgeable. I wish that I had spoken to you before I even got pregnant, but thank you so much for being on today. And I'm excited to create some videos with you that will show us how we can work out, how we can modify, and have a safe and effective workout during pregnancy.
Let's do it. All right, thanks guys.